Every time an oil company drills a well, they use up huge volumes of water and then have to figure out what to do with all the wastewater that comes back up. Well, that's where Select Water Solutions, ticker WTTR, built their entire company around solving that exact issue. I'm going to be walking through what they actually do and whether I think the stock makes sense to buy. So what is Select Water Solutions? It is a water management company that helps oil and gas producers move, treat, recycle, and dispose of that water used in drilling. They operate across three main segments: water infrastructure, water services, and chemical technologies. It's an essential but cyclical business tied directly to energy production. So with that being said, I'm going to be going through some key stats, my own position, and my honest thoughts on this stock. Random transition. If you enjoy these type of breakdowns, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And before we dive into the video, if you haven't started investing yet and don't know how to, use my Robinhood link down in the description. You get a free stock just for signing up. You don't have to put any money down. You just have to sign up, and it's a great way to get started investing. That's how I initially got into investing, and it's something that I wish I knew how to do when I was much younger, but I just didn't know how. So take advantage of that. And also, if you're looking to get into crypto, check out my Coinbase link. You get $10 in free Bitcoin when you invest $5 or more. So be sure to check that out. And with that, let's dive into the video. All right, let's look at the actual numbers on Select Water Solutions. The company has a market cap of about $2.53 billion right now, which isn't too large, but it's not that small. The stock trades around $18.34 at the moment, and it IPO'd at $14.90 back in April of 2017, and that's only just based on what I'm seeing on Robinhood. It could have IPO'd earlier or it could have IPO'd later, but from what I see on Robinhood, it IPO'd at that price in April 2017, and since then it's gained roughly 23%, which isn't a lot if you think about it. It's been almost a decade and the stock really hasn't had much growth. Yeah. But on the contrary, the all-time high was actually not too long ago, which was at $20 back in the end of June of this year. So at the time of recording this video, it was only about a week ago that it hit its all-time high. So it looks like it's climbing again, but it had 8 years that were pretty disastrous since its IPO. But the dividend sits at 1.56%, which is pretty low, and for most investors, that's a target dividend percentage that you should be pursuing. And essentially, most investors say that under 2% is a pretty safe dividend stock. I put my risk at 5%, but under 2% is usually pretty safe. Beta is around 0.96 within the last 5 months. And if you don't know what beta is, it's pretty much just if the overall market moves up $1, then WTTR will move up 0.96 cents. And vice versa, if it goes down $1, then WTTR would move down 96 cents. So that's the way I think about it. And with earnings, they have been mostly positive in recent quarters, though it can be kind of inconsistent, and it's all dependent on oil activity, which sort of makes the stock a bit unpredictable. All right, let's dive into some recent news with Select Water Solutions. They just locked in a partnership with ICE Chemicals to extract iodine out of the wastewater that they handle in the Permian Basin. On paper, it sounds great. They're taking the dirty water left over from oil drilling, filtering out valuable minerals in order to create a new revenue stream. So, sounds good. I mean, they're having more money flow in, and their Q1 earnings from this year beat Wall Street expectations, prompting some analysts to slap price targets on them in the $21 to $24 range. But let's not get ahead ahead of ourselves here. At the end of the day, this company is still completely chained to the oil market. If the drilling slows down, their core business dries up. Even worse, the entire business model is highly dependent on which administration happens to be sitting in the White House and setting the energy policies. So, can a business like this truly grow by just having the same business model and not adapting to what could be happening in the future? In other words, let's put it this way. Is your investment today a safe bet for the next 10 years? Well, that is something that they will have to answer for, and I'll be monitoring it closely. So now the big question, is WTTR worth investing in? I'm going to be going through some pros, cons, and then my personal take on this stock. On the good side, the market for water management in oil and gas is huge and it's growing. Every well needs water, and as production increases and the regulations tighten or loosen, companies like WTTR are winning the business because they know how to clean and reuse it. They've shown some solid revenue growth, positive earnings in recent quarters, and analysts are bullish with price targets above the current price. And from what I see on Robinhood, it looks like those analysts have this stock at a 100% buy rate right now. But let's talk about the cons here. So this business model is highly dependent on oil and gas activity. If the drilling slows down and oil prices drop, the demand for their services drop fast as well. They also carry meaningful debt and face competition, so it's not a super stable ride here. Alright, now that we went through the pros and cons, here's my personal position with Select Water Solutions, and I'm going to be also going through my personal take. So let's start with my personal position. I've recently bought into WTTR, owning 6 shares at an average cost of $18.57, and I bought this stock last month in June, and I haven't collected a dividend payment yet, but right now, based on the stock price, I'm actually down on this stock by $1.36, which isn't a lot. It's a small position for me, so it's not the end of the world, but my guess is that I made a mistake by buying this stock at the peak price, so I'm not really looking to buy anytime soon. I think this stock is actually a pretty useful company that provides a good service, but that service is heavily tied to just laws and regulations, oil, gas. So my best take on this stock is to buy when the stock price are at those low levels and hold your position to collect the dividend payments to earn you some passive income. And I don't expect this stock really to grow much within the next 10 years. I don't see any explosive growth of it going to the moon, but I also don't expect this company to go out of business anytime soon. I definitely do see it as a good dividend investing stock that is safe for collecting dividends, and with that dividend rate being under 2%, it's a pretty safe dividend play here, and that's how I'm going to be investing. I'm going to be buying it when it's at cheap prices and loading up on shares to collect higher dividend payments and just pretty much just ride along with it, just collecting passive income. Alright, that's my full honest take on Select Water Solutions. If this video helped you understand the stock and what this company does, please hit that like button. It's free and it doesn't cost you anything. And also subscribe so you guys don't miss the next video I'm going to be dropping. I do plan on continuing covering more of these stocks since I really don't see any other YouTubers really giving breakdowns on stocks like this. So if you have any stock in mind that you want me to cover, please share it down in the comments. I'll do my research and give it my full breakdown on it and keep it simple. We don't have to go deep into numbers. We can just keep it simple and give you my honest take on it. With that being said, if you haven't checked out my last breakdown that I did on Betterware, the Mexico, please check that out. My whole channel has just been breakdowns of stock videos all over, and I do plan in the future to start diving into crypto coins and getting my full analysis on those. I've just been pretty busy with my schedule, but that is something I do want to dive into that. So that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.